Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Again, beautiful day on the beach, Lake Michigan. I want to show you the lake. I have to position myself like this because of the wind. The sun unfortunately is behind me. I got a plastic glass of beautiful red wine. I'm going to show you the surroundings here. Beautiful. It's a beautiful evening with a beautiful Lake Michigan. I will walk to it in a minute. It's clear and it's kind of chilly, but I swam. I want to go and swim again. All right, what's going on over here? Well, the Russians are very consistent in what they say and what they do. That is, they told the Europeans, you will have no seat at the peace process in Ukraine. Then the Russians claim they are advancing on all fronts in Ukraine. Then you have the Canadians who appointed actually a very, how should I put her? That's Miss Freeland as the Canada's special envoy. Now I don't care that her father was a Nazi sympathizer or worked for the Nazis or he wrote for the Nazis. That's her father, I don't care, or grandfather, I think her father. But she has big grievances against the Russians, so she will not be impartial. That's why when you import people who have allegiance for their people, click, 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 still being there, and when they get into a position of power, they will use you guys to fix their things. And that is, for instance, take people who were born in, let's say, Ukraine, who reach high position in other powerful countries and political system, and then they will use those countries, those nations that have nothing to do with the Russians for their own frustrations. This is Cynthia, whatever her name is, Freeland, Blinken, Victoria Nuland, these people. So when you have right now a big migration of Ukrainian refugees, these people will have children in the countries they are, United States of America, Canada, France, Great Britain, and they probably will become millionaires, maybe billionaires. They will become very important, influential political figures that will influence your nation to go to war for their past or for their grandparents, great-grandparents' grievances. I think this is Miss Freeland. All right, another article I have here. Zelensky is demanding that Trump gives his clear position on security guarantees. So, you know, without the United States of America, unfortunately the Ukrainians, or fortunately without them, the Ukrainians would not be at war with Russia. And they are at war with Russia just because they are at the orders of those guys. And Zelensky is on the, how should I put it, survival line because of the Americans, but he tells Trump to make sure his position, make it clear. Well, you are the subordinate here, aren't you? Or maybe Trump is a subordinate. So I'm going to read this article as well. No place for European Union in Ukraine talks, according to Lavrov. And then another one is Canada, as I mentioned, names descendant of Ukrainian Nazi collaborator as special Ukraine envoy. And this is this, I don't know if you're going to see her, but this hateful, whatever she is. And it's unfortunate because she's going to draw the Canadian people into something that they should not be with the Russians. Why? Because Miss Freeland's parents grievances. Then we're going to go to another article, and the other article is from the Russians, who claim that they are advancing on almost all directions in special operation zone. That tells me that the other guys do not really have anything to do anymore in Ukraine, therefore they're losing. The Americans started providing HIMARS and Patriot missiles to Ukrainians, so the big arms manufacturing companies, who's texting me? Someone here. Oh my God. Anyway, arms manufacturing companies with the banking systems, they are, let me put my feet up here, are still there and gonna make a profit. All right, I'll make a little cooler with my little wine. No, look. Life is bad, isn't it? No. Let's start with the first article. All right, let's start with Zelensky calls for clear position from Trump on Russia sanctions and security guarantees for Ukraine. This is according to Ukrinform, and this is from 16th of September 2025. Ukrainian president. He's Ukrainian as I am Zimbabwean if I move to Zimbabwe. Or my children will be Zimbabweans, and I'm not talking about Rhodesians, as a very witty, very keen guy made a comment in one of my videos, said you might not be Zimbabwean, but you could be a Rhodesian. So I was like, that's a smart guy. I didn't even think about that. So, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has urged U.S. President Donald Trump to take a clear position on sanctions package against Russia and security guarantees for Ukraine, aiming to stop Russian leader. So Zelensky emphasized that the only way to halt hostilities is the first establish clear security guarantees. According to him, this can only happen if Trump shows courage. Now, if I would be in charge of a country that I know I'm in charge of you, and you dare to tell me that, I will fire you. But Trump is not doing that. Why? Is it because Zelensky is black? If you know what I mean? You know exactly what's going on over here. And this is a second topic, which I think it's way more important than everything else, which is the Russians tell the Europeans something that we already knew. You will have no place at Ukraine talks. You are an, how do you call it? You are an, dogs on the beach. Don't you like that? Maybe you can step on a shit right there. And two women, probably unfucked, and nevertheless, they have two dogs on the beach. Just so you know, I don't like that. Why? I don't want to step on dog poop. If you clean your poop, that's fine. But if I still find poop, can't do shit. Anyway, so no place for the European Union Ukraine talks, Lavrov. The bloc has embraced revanchism and is seeking to inflict a strategic defeat on Russia, the foreign minister has said. Like, the foreign minister knows damn well that it's not actually the Europeans, it's the Americans. They instituted whatever happened in 2014 in Ukraine. It was not the Europeans. So EU nations are trying to elbow their way into the Ukraine peace process despite their openly hostile stance towards Russia, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has said, stressing that the bloc should be kept out of the talks for that reason. How about the Americans? Oh, fuck off. Hello, my ass. I hate that thing. I hate when I have dogs on the beach, just so you know. It's just me. Yeah. Don't look at me. Don't look at my cock. Leave me the fuck alone. All right. The perpetrators. Right there. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? Remember, I have a cat. That cat, for me, is like they say, family. It's like a child. But for others, it's not. It's just an animal. It's just a cat. You have to respect other people's reality, it is reality. It's just another animal. Now, I understand. I love my cat. I sleep with my cat. Not like, you know what I mean? I eat around the cat. I do a lot of things around my cat. I consider cat almost human, as I'm pretty sure they do. but I have to give some consideration to the other ones. They might not see my cat as such. They might see it as a dirty animal that licks his ass and then comes and puts his mouth around your mouth to make sure that you are his person. This is reality. Anyway, man, let's drink some more. Maybe I calm down. Not. All right. EU nations are trying to elbow them. Okay, speaking at the embassy roundtable on the Ukraine crisis on Wednesday, Lavrov said the European Union countries are clearly trying quite brazenly to reclaim a place at the negotiating table. The bloc, he argued, maintains a position of revanchism, of inflicting a strategic defeat on Russia, while debating a potential troop deployment to Ukraine in case of a ceasefire. That's not going to happen. And I'm quoting, there is, of course, no place for it at the negotiating table, he stressed. I totally agree with that. And that's bad. The Europeans, as the Americans, I think, showed their limitation by trying to do something to Russia and eventually could not. And that's bad. When you are caught, in a bluff, you're done. That's very embarrassing when you say, if you cross this line, I want to fuck you up. And the person crosses the line and you can't do anything. Why? Because you're weak. So that's one of the worst things could happen to you, because next time when you're going to do the same thing with someone else, people will say, what the hell are you talking about? Oh, someone is taking a bath with soap, washing her hair in the Lake Michigan. God damn it. You see? Jesus Christ. These guys are not Americans, are they? You see her? Or him, or whatever she is? No? Are you going to go underneath the water? Oh, there you go. Come on. There you go. Come on. This is something I left from. And here I am again. Here again. Fuck. Okay. So, we're going to Canada now. I'm trying to run away from people as much as possible, my friends. There's not too many decent people over there. I'm not saying I'm decent. To some I am, with some others I'm not. Obviously, depends on the standards. But you want to go and take a bath and wash in Lake Michigan? I guess you can do that. It's not illegal, I guess. You want to walk your dog to the water? I guess it's not illegal. Are you going to pick up the poop? That's all I care. I don't care about the dogs being around. Clean up your poop. And if you don't clean up the poop, then what are you going to do? Are you going to do the same thing with comprehensive gun control? Eliminate the guns? You can't eliminate the guns. Eliminate the cause. And the cause is the bad humans who are not considerate to others. All right, let's move on. Russia Today, 17th of September. Canada names descendant of Ukrainian Nazi collaborator as special Ukraine envoy. This is kind of like a collective punishment, and I disagree with that. That's in Jewish thing. We're not Jews. Let them fuck themselves as much as they want. We might say, they might tell us that we are a Judeo-Christian culture, not civilization. Let them be. I'm in the Greek or Roman. So for me, collective punishment does not work. So I don't like when they say this. Canada names descendant of Ukrainian Nazi collaborator as special Ukraine envoy. It's true that you might be influenced by, your parents or grandparents' ideology, the family and so on, and start hating certain kind of groups and based on that. But you have to grow up. You have to be your own person at one point. Well, so it says here that Chrystia Freeland's grandfather edited a Nazi propaganda newspaper during World War II, a fact she attempted to dismiss as KGB propaganda. Instead of, I will say, yeah, so? That's what my answer would be. Yeah, so? Go and fuck him up. Go and dig him out. Don't dig me up. I don't have any problem with that. That's me. You talk to me. Don't talk to my grandfather. Am I responsible for anything he did? Yeah, this is Germany and the Holocaust. All right. Influential former Canadian Finance Minister Freeland, Chrystia Freeland, is set to become Ottawa's special envoy for Ukraine. Ukraine's Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced. Freeland, the granddaughter of a Nazi collaborator who long denied awareness of his past, I don't give a shit, it's so fucked up, has long faced scrutiny over extensively documented evidence that her grandfather edited another Nazi propaganda newspaper during the Second World War before he immigrated to Canada. And your point is? I mean, so many people are descendants of Moses. Moses was a genocidal guy. He destroyed, read my books if you don't, read your Old Testament. He raised and destroyed city-states at the order of that. Destroy everybody, every man, remember, keep the virgins though. That's the order from the general God. Yeah. Go and read it. It's right there. There's no metaphorically speaking. That's clearly. So everybody who's a descendant of Moses is a genocidal maniac like Netanyahu. All right, let's move on. Freeland. Okay. In a statement on Tuesday, Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, said that Freeland, one of the most prominent figures in Canada politics for over a decade, who also held post international trade minister, foreign minister of transport and minister, had offered a newly created job of Canada's special representative for the reconstruction of Ukraine, in addition to her responsibility as the MP. So that means she's going to reconstruct Ukraine. That means you want to reconstruct company, you talk to me. You bribe me, I allow you to get Canadian funds stolen from the Russians to get your business and build a highway in Ukraine. That's what I am. You don't give me money, you're not going to be the one building it. It's going to be Gigi's company. Why? Because Gigi gave me $1 million. That's how it worked in Romania. How do you think that things work over there? That's why I know how things work. When you are this kind of representative in reconstruction, that means you are staying in a desk like that and they say, let Mikey come in. Mikey, what do you do? I built freeways. I have this much of money. I want to invest. Okay, well, how about for the big guy? If you don't give the big guy, I will send you home. I'll let you know when I'm ready. Make up your mind. You get a hint? That's how it works. You don't think that's the way it works? So that's why Cynthia is truly uniquely positioned for this timely and essential work towards a better future for Ukrainians and peace in Europe, he said, citing her deep relationships and understanding of Ukraine and its economy. Got it? I would like you to go and check her education. All right, next. Her family trouble legacy is well documented. Her maternal grandfather, Michael Chomyak, edited the Pop newspaper in New Pop in Austria during World War II. You know what? I don't care. That's the guy. It's not Cynthia. I don't like her, don't get me wrong. But I can't be, anyway, let's go to the last topic. Russia advancing in almost all directions in Special Operations Zone. General Staff Chief from Sputnik on the date of 15 minutes ago, today on the September 17th, 2025. Russia advancing in almost directions. The Army General inspected combat missions by units operating in Krasnoarmeysk, Pokrovsk sector of the front on Wednesday. In a statement, Russian Chief of General Staff Valery Gerasimov said intense battles are unfolding near the strategic town where Ukraine has been unsuccessfully trying to hold the Russian advance. Take over the town, will you? And then we're talking. You've been trying for what? 6 months, 7 months already? Russia advancing in almost all directions. Good for you. All right, it says the Zapad battle group advances in Kupiansk, that's in Kherson. Kharkiv. And then you have Russian forces progress in the Krasnoarmeysk direction, Pokrovsk, that's Donetsk, and the liberation of Kirovsk, which is nearing completion. The Ukrainian armed forces redeployment their most capable units to blah blah blah. They say they are advancing. All right, let me take you for a walk, like those bitches took those dogs. God damn it. All right. Let me the glasses. All right, my friends. I'm going to show you the beautiful water here. Beautiful. This is when I used to be in Romania as a youngster. I used to go in the mountains and in the valleys over there, and they have mountain springs. Let me show you this. Don't fall. I have underwear, okay? So don't get me wrong here, right there. All right. I'm not at the nudist beach. So we had to have mountain streams with trout, and the water had this color. right here. This beautiful color. It's a blue Christmas. Yeah, here it is, my friends. I'm gonna take another swim after. I'm gonna make another. These are rocks, obviously, as you can see, but it's sand over there and sand a little well. Yeah, it's right here. Actually, let's walk with you. And here's where my bowls get smaller than they actually are. All right. All right, here it is, my friends. Beautiful. So here is the beautiful Gulf of Tonkin in Vietnam. I can tell you whatever I want, man. You will never know. I mean, right now I'm in Odessa, actually. Okay, who would know? Hey, Zelensky, I'm coming. Bend over. Ready? Thank you. Or Oksana. Which one comes first? Oksana is a very Ukrainian name. I think it's original Ukrainian. So when you hear someone Oksana, you know what I'm doing right now? Can you guess? Exactly. All right. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The wind blows. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. See you later.